10 of Earl's D riffs that have little to do with making a full D chord. Here's riff number 1, hot corn, cold corn. One finger, put your index finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and play a forward roll, and you've got part of hot corn, cold corn. You can repeat this particular measure to back somebody up when they go to a D chord in a D song. Just a forward roll with one finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. If you follow up that measure with another D measure in hot corn, cold corn, you'll be playing a 5-3-4-1. Kind of a square roll there. And then go down to the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And then open up the 4th string. So the next measure, we'll call it number 2 of the D riff, will be. Put them together and you have this. 2, 3, 4. The next one is similar to that. It's going to be in Earl's breakdown where he goes. And then right there, instead of continuing the roll, he does a index middle pinch on the 3rd and 1st strings. Sounds like this. Another one you could do is Blue Ridge Cabin Home. Goes like this. Again, similar, but a little bit different in terms of the strings that you're plucking. Still a forward roll though. And I'm using my index finger here because just like in hot corn, cold corn, you're going to follow it up with a 4th string, 4th fret note. And you have to be able to reach your ring finger up there to get that note. Another reason to use your index finger when you're making a D chord, whether it's a 1-fingered or 4-finger D chord, is that the full D chord would require you to have your 1st finger on that 3rd string, 2nd fret anyway. There's the full D chord. But for these, you don't have to have the full D chord. This will help you get there, but there's a whole lot of riffs that Earl does that are not full D chords, but they're D riffs. Back to Blue Ridge Cabin Home, we did this forward roll. Then you're going to bring your ring finger up to the 4th string, 4th fret, and do a 4-3-1, followed by the 5. It's kind of a forward reverse roll for this measure. You're going to go 4-3-1-5-1-3-4-1. And on the way back in that forward reverse part, you're going to lift up your fingers and place your index finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret. So the whole measure looks like this. And if you combine it with the previous D measure, you get this. 2, 3, 4. And most of these resolve to G. So if you want to hear the finality, the resolution, you play the 3rd string open. Here it is again. 2, 3, 4. Next one comes off a little darling pal of mine, goes like this. It's a forward roll again, but different strings. You're going to start with your 3rd string, 2nd fret. You notice the pattern here? A whole lot of these start with that A note. That 3rd string, 2nd fret. Then you immediately come down to hit that 4th string, 4th fret again. And you finish off with the 5-3-1. The whole thing sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. And you can loop that one again. Good practice moving your fingers around too down here. Another one would be this classic, right? It's in Shuckin' the Corn, for instance. This one, there's a typo on this, by the way, in Shuckin' the Corn, in the original book anyway. The original book shows you going to the 5th string, which you could do, but I'm pretty sure he actually coming off the G, which is something like he goes to the 4th string open. Short one, but you could continue with. Here's another one, which is kind of similar to the previous. Here you're going to hit the bass note by itself and then go right into the hammer. Yet another, that one's out of Foggy Mountain Breakdown. And then it goes right into the next Foggy Mountain Breakdown measure, which is, and that resolves to the G, 3rd string open again. So those two together would sound like this. And with the resolution you have this, or something like that as a G riff. Little Maggie has a similar one to that. And probably goes to the G, 3rd string open again. So eventually, you're going to have to play this full kind of D chord riff. Not very often, but in the Ballad of Jed Clampett, you kind of do. So what I suggest doing is taking a 3-finger D chord, and I talked about this in one of my earlier videos, but we'll review it now, is taking your index finger, placing it on the 3rd string 2nd fret as we've done before. Then your middle finger goes to the 2nd string 3rd fret. And then make sure it's your pinky that goes to the 1st string 4th fret. Even though it might look like your ring finger would fit better, it's better to learn it this way. And I'll move the ring finger out of the way so you can see what I'm doing here. Because you're going to have to eventually get this ring finger up on the 4th string 4th fret. So your full D chord looks like this. But for most breaks, you don't have to have them all down at the same time. So in the Ballad of Jed Clampett, you're going to play. So the first measure, it's a 3-measure D chord in the Ballad of Jed Clampett. And it corresponds to "Come Listen to My Story About a Man Named Jed." Okay, so Jed is that first note. Listen to my story about a man named Jed. That's the first note of the riff. Jed. So it's kind of it's a little bit of a square roll there. I would suggest bringing your thumb down to the 2nd string for that 2nd note of the measure. Jed. Pour. Now on pour, when they would be singing the pour, you're trying to find that melody note. It's right there, 4th string 4th fret, F sharp note. Pour. Mountain. The next measure is trickier, because you're holding that D down for the first half of the measure. But when you play that 3 there, the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, the second time you do it, you're going to open up your fingers a little bit to get the 3rd string open and the 1st string open. That's kind of a tricky move. Let's talk about that. Let's play that a little bit. So I would say hit that note, 4th string 4th fret. And then get those fingers, all of them except the middle finger, keep that down, out of the way. So you'd have this. Try it again. 2, 3, 4. Don't bring the fingers too far off. I'm bringing them far away so you can see that all the fingers are off, but you really don't want them too far away because they're going to come right back down when you get to the next measure. Let's try that. And you finish off with the full D on that. So that's the toughest of the D riffs, I think, that I've seen that Earl plays anyway. Let's try that measure one more time there. 2, 3, 4. Now I forgot to mention the very last note of the third measure of D is an open first string. So you notice I took my pinky off there because you're resolving back into a G chord, right? So let's play all three of them. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. G, 4, here, barely kept his family fed. Now without me getting in the way singing. 2, 3, 4. So have fun with those, and just remember, as you're working on this full D chord, there's a lot of licks and riffs you can play that are D riffs that will work with the D chord in any song, or in a lot of songs. But it is important to learn that full D chord, because you can take it up the neck. So thanks for joining me on this video. As a reminder again, I'm teaching classes out at the John C. Campbell Folk School. Got a class in late January and also in November 2026 with my pal Rick Taylor. And we do a playing in a band bluegrass class. Would love to see you come out and enjoy the week at the folk school. And it's a total immersion in learning how to play bluegrass songs. And we have banjo players, guitar players, mandolin players, fiddlers, everything you can imagine, bass players. So come on out and have a good time with us there. Hope to see you in the next video or perhaps at the folk school. For more information, take a look at the website that I will post down below. I believe it's folkschool.org. See you soon.